There are things, events, and circumstances in our society that created a massive impact towards the country's history. And in every occurrence, whether it affected a smaller or larger quantity of people, it certainly comes with an inevitable change that can either bring a positive or negative impact towards the transformation of the country. On February 25, 1986, marks the meaningful national event which shall stand it the whole world. This is the People Power Revolution, or also known as Edsa Revolution, that unveiled the real definition and power of democracy. It was a 4-day campaign of civil resistance, contrary to regime violence and alleged electoral fraud. This is a non-violent revolution which led to the departure of Ferdinand Marcos, the end of his 21-year presidential rule, and the restoration of democracy in the Philippines.
Along the streets of Epifanio de los Santos Avenue, sent thousands of people with rosaries and gifts in their hands as their primary weapons to retaliate against regime violence, abuse of power, and alleged electoral fraud. Most Filipinos who joined the force were students, progressive workers, church advocates, and activists that wanted to bring down the fascist dictatorship of Marcos. Here, the presence of fighting for the basic human rights are evident, and the willingness for better changes is apparent among the Filipinos.
Since the proclamation of the martial law in 1972, there have been thousands of killings, disappearances, tortures, and human rights abuses to those who opposed the government. The media was not free to report everything about the government. They should not report something that could ruin the government's reputation. Everyone was not allowed to express their opinions and therefore blocked from knowing something about the government's measures. The curfew was at 6 o'clock in the evening. Checkpoints are disseminated everywhere. The economy is going down. From there, everyone started to realize that things have gone wrong. Their human rights were taken advantage of the abusive officials. Some businesses were forced to close. There was nothing left to them but the traumatic experiences, and they felt the darkness prevailing during that time.
By then, everyone went out of their homes, marched on the streets, and gathered what is left within them. The Filipinos seek hope that there will see the light again after the crisis they are facing. Despite of the strong emotions felt, the Filipinos still did not resort to violence. Moreover, freedom is the genuine thing that urged the Filipinos to start a revolution that was cooperated by many to recover their dignity and freedom, ensuring that life comes from God, only God can take away. Everybody might be wondering the reason of that event. It is said that the event was led by Corazon Aquino to stop the controversial martial law of President Ferdinand Marcos. Apart from this, the assassination of Benigno Aquino Sr. was one of the things that influenced the Filipinos to oppose the corrupt and oppressive administration.
It all started on February 22, 1986, the first day of the non-violent protest, where hundreds of thousands of people, peaking at 2 million, had occupied the Edsa highway in order to support the breakaway of a military group from the dictatorship in order to effect the complete isolation and downfall of the autocratic regime. The Philippines was praised worldwide in 1986 and now known as the first bloodless revolution ever happened in the world. It greatly emphasized that war does not always mean killings, violence, or using deadly weapons. If you are fighting for something, fight for it in the right way. Have faith in order to obtain the right and good result.
Edsa Revolution has been engraved in the hearts and minds of every Filipino because it is a historical event that is considered as the successful of everyone. Filipinos won as one. This part of Philippine history gives us a strong sense of pride, especially that the other nations had attempted to emulate what we have shown in the world of the true power of democracy. The empowerment of democracy was exhibited in Edsa by its successful efforts to oust tyrant by a demonstration without tolerance or violence and bloodshed. Prayers and rosaries strengthened by faith were the only weapons that Filipinos used to recover their freedom from President Ferdinand Marcos' iron hands. The Edsa stretches 54 kilometers, where the peaceful demonstration was held on the fateful day. It was a day that gathered all the Filipinos in unity with courage and faith to prevail democracy in the country. It was the power of all the people that restored the democratic Philippines, ending the oppressive Marcos regime. All the Filipinos showed how God-fearing and faithful Filipinos were, proving that nothing is impossible when you let God to be the center of everything that you are doing. Nothing is impossible if you're doing it as one and with the guidance of the Lord.
Certainly, as for this year's 33rd celebration of Edsa Revolution, we should commemorate it not only as a significant event embedded in the Philippines' history, but a deeper meaning behind this bloodless strike. It is a symbolism of the downfall of the tyrannical regime that brought agony and pain to the millions of Filipinos nationwide. Also, EDSA made the Filipinos become braver and stand firmer that as people, we should not allow those who hold positions of power to take abusive actions towards us and make us fool about our own human rights.
More than 3 decades have passed since the EDSA revolution, yet no one can disregard the mere fact that it is one of the most remarkable events that shaped the country to a unique form today. The revolution left traces of valor and solidarity that made the country more resilient into different problems. Surely, if there will be another Marcos taking over the presidential position, we will still choose to unite and again ignite the spirit of EDSA within us.
So the next time that the 25th of February will come, be a reliable informant on disseminating rightful information about martial law and EDSA revolution to everyone. Use the power of social media on spreading awareness and facts about the misery that the country faced during the martial law and the greatness that the Filipinos have shown during the EDSA revolution. Definitely, no one knows better than those who experienced the real struggles during the 1970s and those who research and look at the different angles of the phenomenon. Nowadays, the history about the martial law and EDSA revolution is one-sided, and unfortunately, most of them are well written in some books. The younger generation of today, though they were not born during that time, need to fully grasp the significance of this event. They need to fully absorb and understand the situation in order to act accordingly and start to change the world through systematic ways. With this, change can be achieved peacefully. Truly, EDSA is not just a revolution, but it is an inspiration for everyone that if we are united, we can be more, and our freedom is, and will always be worth fighting for.
Hi, this is Sofia DeGuzman,
Hi, this is Joanna Develos.
and this is the story of Edsa Revolution.